There's a kind of exhaustion that many people over 60 understand all too well. It's that feeling of cleaning over and over again. Yet the mess always finds its way back. The house looks tidy one week, cluttered the next. It's not because we're lazy. It's not because we don't try hard enough. It's because we don't have a system that truly fits us. We clean with energy and motivation on one Saturday afternoon, but a few weeks later, it all looks the same again. The drawers get crowded, the closets refuse to close, and we start asking ourselves, maybe I'm just not meant to keep a tidy home. But the problem isn't that you've been doing it wrong, it's that you haven't found the right way for you. Each of us has our own rhythm, personality, and reasons for holding on to things. That's why no single formula can fit everyone. Those who live with deep emotions need a gentler approach. Those who love order and discipline need a more structured system. And those learning to let go, they need a slower, more compassionate rhythm. Today's video will help you discover exactly that. You'll meet 6 people, 6 stories, 6 decluttering systems. From Martha, who learned to tidy through emotion, to George, who decluttered as an act of love for his children. And by the end, you'll realize, when you choose the system that truly fits you, your home can stay peaceful and organized, not just for a while, but for good. So if you've been cleaning again and again, only to find everything return to its old state, please stay with me until the end of this video. Because today, Senior Eyes will help you discover the decluttering system that finally feels like yours. 1. The KonMari method. When decluttering begins with emotion, Martha is 68 years old. She used to be an art teacher, a woman who has lived her whole life surrounded by color, creativity, and memories. On her shelves are hand-painted cards from her students. In the corner of her room, little ceramic pots she made years ago, and on the walls, dozens of drawings, each one a reminder of laughter, youth, and love. Every object tells a story, and because of that, she couldn't bear to part with any of them. Each time she tried to declutter, she simply moved things from one place to another, and weeks later, the room looked exactly the same. The space wasn't dirty, just heavy. Not from dust, but from memories too full to breathe. One afternoon, while searching through her old sketches, Martha came across the life-changing magic of tidying up. A single line from Marie Kondo stopped her cold. When you hold something in your hands, ask yourself, does it still spark joy? That night, for the first time in years, Martha decided to try. She sat in the middle of her room, surrounded by open boxes of memories. She picked up a small, uneven card, a drawing from one of her former students. The handwriting trembled, the lines were crooked, but the words read, "Thank you for believing in me." She smiled. That card still made her heart warm, so she kept it. Then she reached for a cracked ceramic vase, a farewell gift from her final class before retirement. She remembered the hugs, the tears, the promises to meet again. But now, the vase no longer brought joy, only a faint sadness. She placed her hand on it and whispered softly, "Thank you for being part of a beautiful memory," then set it gently in a donation box for the local art school. She continued like that, with each item one by one. A painting, a photograph, a wooden frame, a knitted scarf from a student. If it still made her smile, she kept it. If not, she let it go, with gratitude. After 3 quiet afternoons, Martha barely recognized her own room. The shelves were clear. The air felt lighter. On the wall hung only one painting, a gift from her students on the day she retired. The colors had faded, but in the eyes of the children drawn within it, she still saw warmth and love. That day, Martha realized something profound. KonMari isn't about cleaning your home. It's about cleaning your heart. It's about choosing what still lives with you in the present and releasing what belongs to the past. This method is especially powerful for those with tender, sentimental souls, for those who fear hurting their memories by letting things go. Because KonMari doesn't ask you to say goodbye. It teaches you to say thank you before you release. It's decluttering that honors the heart. Now, every morning when Martha opens her door, the sunlight spills across that one painting, and her room feels peaceful, like a quiet corner where memories still live, but gently. If you see yourself in Martha's story, if you've been cleaning again and again but can't seem to let go of what weighs you down, try this. Hold one item in your hands and ask softly, "Does this still bring me joy?" If the answer is no, don't be afraid to let it go. Beautiful memories never disappear. They simply move from your shelves into your heart, making space for new joys to enter your life. 2. The Swedish death cleaning method. When decluttering becomes an act of love. George is 74. He lives alone in a small house on the edge of Minnesota, a house that once overflowed with laughter shared with his late wife Evelyn. Since the day she passed, everything in that home has remained exactly as it was, as if time had quietly stopped. Her coat still hangs by the door. Her favorite daisy-patterned mug still rests by the sink. And the framed photographs on the cabinet, neatly stacked, now layered with dust. Each time his daughter visits, she sighs and says, "Dad, this house still looks exactly like it did when Mum was here." George smiles softly and changes the subject. He knows he's simply not ready to touch those memories yet. Then, one winter morning, while reading an article about something called Swedish death cleaning, he stopped at the very first line. Cleaning isn't about dying. It's about helping others live more lightly after you're gone. That single sentence stayed with him all day. He remembered the time, decades ago, when he and his daughter had to sort through his own mother's belongings after she passed away. Boxes of clothes, old letters, trinkets, bits of jewelry, each one a small piece of her life. And every box they opened brought another wave of tears. George promised himself that day his daughter would never have to go through that same pain. He didn't want her sitting alone one day, surrounded by piles of things, wondering, did Dad want to keep this, or was I supposed to throw it away? So he began to declutter, the Swedish way, slowly, thoughtfully, with care. Each week, he focused on just one drawer. Inside, he made 3 piles: keep, give, discard. One week, he opened his wife's old wooden box. Inside was a handkerchief embroidered with the letter E. He picked it up, smiled, folded it carefully, and placed it into a smaller box labeled Keep, for your mother's memory. Another day, he opened a cabinet full of dishes. He realized he hadn't used half of them in 5 years. So he gathered them gently, set them on the porch, and taped a little note. If you need these, please take them. Week after week, drawer by drawer, George's home grew lighter. Not empty, just peaceful. One morning, when his daughter came to visit, she stood in the doorway, speechless. The bookshelves were neatly arranged. The desk was clear. The closet held only what he truly needed. On each box, tidy labels read, Important papers, keep. Family photos, give to my daughter. No longer needed, donate. She hugged him tightly, tears in her eyes, and whispered, I get it now. You're cleaning for us. George smiled and replied quietly, Not to save you work, sweetheart. To save you sadness. Swedish death cleaning or döstädning isn't really about death. It's about love, preparation, and thoughtfulness. It's about living responsibly, not cleaning with force, but with affection. This method is perfect for anyone who has reached the age where you begin to think beyond yourself, to the people you love, and what you'll leave behind. You don't need to do it all at once, just a little each week, because every small act of sorting today is a gift of peace for those who will continue your story tomorrow. So if you're watching this and find yourself relating to George, try starting small. Pick just one drawer this week, label a few boxes, and imagine your child's face when they open that neatly arranged space, the quiet relief they'll feel. Then ask yourself, if I weren't here someday, how many boxes would I want my children to face? Sometimes, that one question is all it takes to begin. 3. The one-in, one-out rule. When tidiness becomes a way of life, among all the people who seem to have mastered the art of keeping a tidy home, Linda stands out. Every guest who visits her says the same thing. How is your closet always so perfectly organized? Her secret is simple. Whenever something new comes in, something else must go out. People call it the one-in, one-out rule. Linda is 63 and lives alone in a cozy apartment in Portland. She spent her career working in fashion retail, surrounded by color, fabric, and the thrill of finding something beautiful. Her wardrobe used to be overflowing, every shade, every pattern, every style imaginable. Yet every morning, she would stare at all those clothes and sigh, "I have nothing to wear." One day, while reorganizing her closet, she realized the problem wasn't that she didn't have enough clothes, it was that she had too many choices. So she created a new rule for herself. If something new comes in, something old must go out. And she stuck with it. Clothes, shoes, handbags, even kitchen items, all followed that simple law. When she shopped, she no longer felt guilty about buying something new because she already knew which item would leave. If she bought a new sweater today, she'd carefully fold an old one, place it in a bag labeled charity donations, and set it by the door, always ready to be given. One afternoon, a close friend saw Linda folding a nearly new dress into that donation bag. "You're giving that away? It's beautiful." Linda smiled and said, "I love it too, but someone else probably needs it more than I do, and my closet needs to breathe." That gentle sentence holds the heart of the one-in, one-out philosophy, keeping your space in balance, where every item earns its place and serves its purpose. Thanks to that habit, Linda's wardrobe now feels open and calm. Each morning, choosing an outfit is simple, even joyful. Not because she owns less, but because everything she owns is truly used and loved. This method doesn't demand strict discipline, only a bit of mindfulness and consistency. It's ideal for those who don't want to keep starting over, but want to maintain a peaceful rhythm of order that lasts. And something beautiful happens when you practice it long enough. Each item that leaves doesn't make you feel deprived. It makes you feel free. At the end of each year, Linda gathers all her outgoing bags and brings them to a local donation center. She says it's the most fulfilling moment of her year. "I'm not just cleaning my closet, I'm passing my positive energy to someone else." Maybe that's why one-in, one-out is considered the most sustainable decluttering method for older adults. It doesn't require strength. It doesn't feel forced. It's just one simple rule, and over time, it becomes part of your natural way of living. So tonight, think about something you've recently bought. Then ask yourself, if this comes in, what am I willing to let go of? That one small question might be the first step toward keeping your home tidy without ever having to start from zero again. And if you try it, share your experience in the comments below. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to finally begin. 4. The capsule wardrobe method, when less brings more freedom. If Linda found order through rules, Evelyn found freedom through limits. Evelyn is 70 years old, a retired history teacher who left her job early to travel the world. After her husband passed away, she began journeying alone from California to Italy, from Kyoto to Scotland. But in those first years, every trip began with the same old stress. Evelyn loved clothes, and every time she packed, she'd find herself standing in the middle of a mountain of dresses, scarves, and shoes, asking the same question: what should I bring? I love them all. Once, she spent 3 weeks traveling through Europe. She brought 3 large suitcases. In the end, she wore only 8 outfits. The rest just weighed her down, literally. When she returned home, she sighed and thought, I carried too much and lived too little. Then one afternoon, in a small cafe in Kyoto, Evelyn met an older Japanese woman who mentioned something called the capsule wardrobe, a minimalist closet, only a few pieces you truly love, but versatile enough to create hundreds of combinations. That idea stayed with her. When she returned home, Evelyn decided to give it a try. She chose a neutral color palette: white, beige, gray, and navy blue. She kept just 20 essential pieces: a few pairs of pants, some blouses, a light jacket, her favorite shoes. Everything could mix and match. When she finished, she stood before her closet and smiled. No more clutter. No more indecision each morning. Everything was simple and beautiful. She later said, I travel with less now, but I live so much more. I no longer waste time deciding what to wear. Instead, I have time to watch the sunrise, write letters to old friends, and drink my morning coffee while it's still hot. The capsule wardrobe isn't just a fashion trick. It's a philosophy of living. To own less so you can be free more. It reminds us that most of our exhaustion doesn't come from what we lack, but from having too many things we don't need. Now every trip Evelyn takes fits into a single suitcase. She calls it her suitcase of peace. Inside, a few outfits, a journal, and a beige scarf, the one that once belonged to her husband, the only item she carries on every journey. This method is perfect for anyone who has spent years surrounded by excess and is now seeking a return to simplicity and freedom. You don't have to throw everything away. Just choose what truly serves the life you want to live today. 5. The 30-day challenge, when discipline beats procrastination. Henry is 66 years old, a quiet man, a former mechanical engineer. His life was built on precision, patterns, and numbers. But after retirement, life slowed down, sometimes so much that it simply stopped. Old tools in the garage, stacks of papers in drawers, shelves filled with books, everything piled up, little by little. And Henry knew it was time to declutter. Yet every time he looked around his house, it felt like standing in front of a massive project with no blueprint. There was too much. He didn't know where to start, so he waited. A day, a week, a month. Then one night, while watching a video on decluttering methods, he heard about the 30-day decluttering challenge. For 30 days, day 1, get rid of 1 item, day 2, 2 items, day 3, 3 items, and so on. He laughed out loud. Really? That's it? But the engineer inside him was intrigued. It had structure, numbers, measurable progress, a system. So he decided to try. Day 1. He tossed 1 cracked cup. Day 2. 2 old printer manuals. Day 3. 3 dry pens. Easy enough, until around day 15. That's when it got harder. He needed 15 items to let go of, and now each one carried a memory. His very first technical drawing as a young engineer, his father's old toolbox. Henry paused for a long time. He couldn't throw them away, but he also no longer needed them. So he made a special box and labeled it, "Keep," not because I need it, but because I'm grateful. That challenge taught him something profound. Decluttering isn't about cutting out. It's about choosing wisely. He began to look at everything he owned and ask a new question. What role does this still play in my life today? By day 30, Henry had released over 460 items, not because he forced himself, but because each day the decision became lighter. His home wasn't empty. It finally had room to breathe, to move, to live. Even more importantly, the challenge cleared something bigger than clutter. It cleared his habit of procrastination, his quiet sense of defeat. Now, whenever a drawer starts to feel a little crowded, Henry just smiles and says, "I know what to do, bit by bit, day by day." The 30-day challenge isn't for everyone, but it's powerful for those who need a gentle push to finally begin. It builds momentum, makes progress visible, and turns too much to do into one small thing each day. For older adults, it's a wonderful way to practice patience and reclaim a sense of control. You don't need strength, only a small, steady commitment. If you're still watching at this point, I truly want to say thank you. Thank you for spending your precious time walking through these stories with me. Every minute you've shared here means so much to the Seniorize community, because people like you, people who still believe that at any age we can begin again, live lighter, and love more deeply, are the reason this channel exists. 6. The 330 challenge, when simplicity becomes elegance. Nora is 65. She used to be a university lecturer, graceful, thoughtful, and always known for her impeccable taste. All her life, Nora believed that a woman should always appear neat, composed, and refined. And because of that, her closet was always full to the brim. From the crisp blouses she wore in the lecture hall to the silk dresses she saved for conferences, from the scarf she bought in Paris to the elegant shoes from Italy, every item carried a story. But after she retired, Nora began to notice something. Every morning, she'd still stand in front of her closet for 20 minutes and sigh, not because she had nothing to wear, but because she had too much to choose from. One day, while watching a program about minimalism, she heard about something called the 333 Challenge. A simple idea: choose 33 items of clothing, not counting underwear, and wear only those for 3 months straight. At first, Nora laughed. 3 months with just 33 pieces? Impossible. But curiosity won. She decided to try, just once, to see what would happen. She emptied her entire closet, spread everything across her bed, and started selecting the pieces she truly loved, the ones that made her feel confident, comfortable, and authentically her. In the end, 33 items. Such a small number, it almost scared her. The first few weeks were strange. She repeated outfits often, but surprisingly, no one noticed. No one said, "Didn't you wear that yesterday?" No one cared, and gradually, Nora stopped caring too. With a smile, she later said, "When I stopped worrying about what to wear, I finally had time to think about how I wanted to live." When the 3rd month ended, She looked back at the 33 pieces she had worn all season. Every single one brought her joy. Everything else, the dozens she hadn't touched, she realized she hadn't worn in over a year. So she decluttered her wardrobe for real this time. No guilt, no hesitation. She kept only what made her feel enough. Not too much, not too little, not too loud. The 333 challenge didn't just transform Nora's closet, it transformed her idea of beauty. She said, "After 60, I finally understood. Elegance isn't about having more. It's about knowing where to stop." Now, when Nora opens her wardrobe in the morning, she has only a few choices. But each one fits perfectly. Each one feels like her. Her room looks brighter, and she herself feels lighter, more graceful, more alive. The 333 method isn't only about fashion. It's a quiet lesson in life itself, about simplifying your world so you can make time for what truly matters. A phone call with someone you love, a slow breakfast, an afternoon reading without glancing at the clock. And now, I'd love to ask you something. If you had to live the next 3 months with only 33 items, what would you keep? Share your answer in the comments below, because maybe, just maybe, that small list you write will become the first step toward rediscovering simple, effortless elegance in your own life. 7. The 5S method, when cleaning becomes a way of living. Tim is 65. He lives alone in a small apartment in Chattanooga, Tennessee, a space he fondly calls my little world. Unlike many others in today's stories, Tim wasn't searching for emotional healing or quick results. What he needed was a system he could sustain for life, something that would keep his home organized not just for a week, but every single day. For years, he tried everything: KonMari, Swedish death cleaning, the 30-day challenge. All of them worked for a while, but a few months later, clutter slowly crept back in. Not because Tim lacked discipline, but because he didn't have a structure that brought him back again and again. Then one day, while reading about Japanese management principles, Tim discovered something old, yet brilliantly sustainable: the 5S method. Originally designed for factories to maintain efficiency and cleanliness, the more he read, the more he thought, if this can keep a factory running smoothly, why can't it keep a home that way too? So he began experimenting, and here's how he applied it. S1. Tim started by scanning his room and asking himself, do I really need this? If the answer was no, he sorted everything into 3 piles: sell, donate, discard. He laughed. Just finishing the first step already made my home feel half as heavy. S2. Set in order. For everything he kept, Tim gave it a clear home. Spices in the kitchen were arranged within easy reach. Tools were gathered into labeled boxes. Nothing is random anymore, he said. Everything has its place. S3. Shine. Tim had a small rule. If I choose to keep it, I must take care of it. He cleaned, polished, and checked every item regularly. He joked, a clean table helps me think clearly. A shiny kitchen helps me cook better. S4. Standardize. This was his favorite step. Instead of waiting for things to get messy, he built a rhythm of checking in. Just 5 minutes a day, but every day. He even used the Todoist app to remind him. Monday, bedroom. Tuesday, kitchen. Wednesday, bathroom. Thursday, desk. Friday, living room. 5 minutes. 1 space. Enough to keep order alive. S5. Sustain. This, Tim said, was the soul of 5S. It's not about cleaning up. It's about living mindfully. I don't clean because my home is messy anymore, he said. I clean because I love how it feels to live in a tidy space. After 6 months, Tim's home wasn't just cleaner. His mind was clearer. He said, "When everything around you finds its place, your heart does too." For older adults, 5S is something truly special. It doesn't require strength, it doesn't demand hours, just a few small, steady moments each day, and suddenly, cleaning shifts from a task into a way of living. Now, every evening before bed, Tim opens his Todoist app and sees one empty checkbox, meaning every small task is done. He smiles and says, "I don't need perfection. I just need to know that today I kept my life in order." If you've stayed with me until this very moment, you've probably realized something important. There is no single, perfect system for everyone. Each person in today's 7 stories, Martha, George, Linda, Evelyn, Henry, Nora, and Tim, found their own way to make their space breathe again. But deeper than that, what they truly found was a lighter version of themselves. Each story is a piece of the same picture. When we learn to arrange our surroundings, we are quietly rearranging our inner world. After 60, decluttering becomes something more profound. It's no longer just about putting things away. It's about learning to say goodbye to what no longer belongs to us, old memories, old habits, and sometimes small pieces of who we used to be. And yes, that's not easy, but it's worth it. Because after every round of decluttering, we don't just see a home that feels wider. We feel a heart that's lighter, a mind that's clearer, and a peace that's deeper. Decluttering, when we understand it fully, isn't about throwing things away. It's about choosing what truly matters. It's not about closing a door, but opening one to a new chapter of freedom and simplicity. So if tonight you're sitting in your own home, feeling a little tired of the things that surround you, remember, you don't have to clean it all. Just choose one place, one drawer, one day to begin. Tomorrow, maybe a little more, like Henry did, like Tim still does. And one day, almost without noticing, you'll realize decluttering is no longer something you do. It's something you live. It becomes a quiet act of gratitude to life and to yourself for still learning, still growing, still finding ways to live a little lighter each day. If this video touched something in you, share it with a friend. Because maybe, somewhere out there, someone needs a small reason to begin, not just to clear their home, but to clear a gentle corner of their heart. And before you go, leave me a comment below. Tell me, which story felt most like your own? Because sometimes that one simple answer might be the very first step on your own journey toward a home and a life that feels truly light, peaceful, and beautifully free.